Ciao.
Oh, ciao. Good
Ciao,
afternoon.
ciao.
Ciao.
How are you doing? Long
Super.
time no see.
Yes, sure. Yes,
That's true.
especially in this period, strange period, that is not easy to meet each other physically. But we need
That's
to
true.
use this tool to be more close. What about you? Everything's okay from your side?
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. You create your own circumstance and environment you move between your ears. I mean, if you let involve the outside creating who you are, then they control you. And lesson one is nobody can control you. The only one who can control you is God, the highest divine. But on the earth, we are all equal. Which means we are not the same because everybody is different, but we have the same rights. But we should never let anybody influence our mood. By the time they
Exactly.
influence it for a few seconds, you have to switch between your ears and bring back your mood to what you want to feel. I mean, we have a lot of bad news in the radio. I mean, I don't watch much news because it's today's too much propaganda and negative. So
Mhm.
I want to stay away from it. I read some of the I'm here in Budapest, but I read the Dutch newspapers. But in Holland, it's crazy, like it's here. And yes, of course, I don't like the requirements for two reasons. One reason because nobody likes to be locked up. We live in a big
Yeah.
prison all right now. That's one. That's the general one. And second part of it, I don't believe in the requirements because I don't believe it's as heavy as it is. I did an interview a few days ago with a German newspaper,
Yes.
and they yeah, with the German newspaper, and they asked me what I think about the requirements.
Mhm.
And then I said we are stupid because what all the governments are doing, it's like the firework. The firemen, you have a big house worth 20 million, and you have a little garage next to it, which is about 15,000 euros. And that one is in fire, and all the fire ones try to get off the fire on the garage, but also to avoid your wealthy house will be
Mhm.
burned. They start to put it full with water, so your house will be not burned down, but because of the water, have a big damage, and that's actually what's happening in the world. The firemen are the politicians, and they try to save the garage, but fuck up the world house, and
Yes,
that's what's happening.
this is
And
why. Yes, we need to fill our mind of positive thoughts instead to follow.
sure,
Yeah, this situation, and this is the reason why I always when I talk with you, I feel your energy, your positive energy, and we had the past several very good conversation, deep conversation, and I think that really to share our ideas, especially our passion, how what we do and how we achieve what we do in the direction of our purpose is the best way also to inspire others to fill our mind of positive thoughts. Can, can
that's
you
true.
can you tell to our friends that now follow us in Instagram who you are, what you do, and your passion, what you like to do?
A patient in a way. To be quiet, I'm very not patient. My name is Tjeerd. I study law. I did a lot in the music area. Actually, all I do is related to like consulting, and mostly what I do is follow my dream.
Hmm.
And patient is a bad thing. I was born on April 2nd, 1961, which was Easter Sunday, and I always felt something special. Not because that I'm special, but I was gifted with talents and habits, which were I find out by meeting other people.
Hmm.
Precious gift. When I was 5 years old, I was almost died. I had meningitis. I was in the hospital for 12 days. I was in the hospital for 8 weeks, but the first 12 days I had a fever between 40 and 42
Hmm.
constantly. Actually, the doctors gave me up and told my parents that they have to count on losing me in the next days. Only years later, I realized what it's funny now. I feel the spirit was there. It was actually my grandfather who passed. I was born on April 2nd. I got this meningitis on May 5th. 1966. My grandfather died in 65, and shortly before he became 65. And I always felt later on I started to realize when somebody teach me to connect me with the angels, to write with them, which was in the beginning very funny to do, because it was like if it was hocus pocus, later on I could help a lot of people with. I find out and realize the one who really kept me down and talked with God not to bring me upstairs already was my grandfather, the one I bury his name. And I was born on the April the 2nd, which was Easter Sunday. What I realized later on was this very special day. Sometimes people say, Jesus, Tjeerd, stop. And then I joke and said, yeah, I felt like Jesus because he was reborn on Easter Sunday. And it was my born day too. He came out under a stone and I came out of the stone, which was my mom's big belly, you know. And patience I never had. And because my sinus areas and my antecedents areas too. So if I have to go from A till C, I will try to skip B. And of course you make a lot of mistakes with that. And but mistakes are only mistakes if you repeat them, because mistakes basically doesn't exist. Mistakes are lessons. It's only a mistake if you knew the outcome and you still try to do it, because I believe nothing is I don't believe in the word coincidence. So I think coincidence is only for the people who are fearing the truth and don't want to know then things happen to you. The reason you and I met, I remember when we met and we had our first lunch in on the Buddha side. And I forgot the name of the place, the beautiful place.
Yeah.
And you asked me the question how I think about life, where you just spoke about people you saw with the guy who had this new Ferrari and was so happy since he had a Ferrari, he could bring out the beautiful girls. And instead of being rich, he showed how poor he was, because it was not him who attracted the girls, it was only his car. Because if I was driving the car, I could have the same girls. So, and it also say everything about the girls, and this is not why we are on the planet. So, but patience. I mean, I learned actually when I was about 14 or 15 years old, when I was a newspaper boy, and I was always talking loud and visualizing things during this. I had a strange one. The first newspaper and the last one I had to drop was 12 kilometers distance. And I had only 29 people where I had to go. So I had many times to bike, and it was in the nature. And there was a very good environment to be with the nature, you know. And there I visualized a lot of things. I was 15 years old when I came across with the music of Santana. And I visualized how it would be if I met this guy, what I want to ask him. And I was just driving, and actually 5 years, 6 years later, all what I visualized happened. All this I only realized when I was something like 35. Then because you hear many things about the law of attraction and visualizing things, then this is the way how to do. Only if you do it sincere, it will work. If you do it because you want to gain profit with in a bad way, it will never work. It will automatically stop. But I realized then make your dreams come true is still possible for everybody. You also only have to set a goal which is normal. If I want to say I want to become the Queen of Netherlands, I can have an operation and become from a boy a girl, but I will never be the queen. So it's not a wish what you can make happen, but you can only make that happen in your dream what you really wish you want to make happen to become a reality.
You need really to believe very strongly, because if you don't believe, nothing happens.
Sure. No. But so what I find out is that I have spitten in a lot of things into universe without knowing that I did it. And actually basically everything like that came out. And I realized only later I saw all the little parts of the puzzle became a big picture later on when I was looking back. And I did a lot in my job as a lawyer. I was always involved in tax. I created for a lot of people in corporations and helped them save tax and build structures then when you lose there is like circumstances like we now have in the environment, a lot of people will go bankrupt. But if your structure is made well, it will only affect your company and not your private belongings. And that's what I did for a lot of people. And there, of course, you have to deal with a lot of people who are only visualizing on making money, 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 and have no idea that money is only a tool. And why you want to make money if you're not going to spend it? So money is only a beautiful thing if you spend it. I mean, it's like the sun. If you love the sun, but you stay the whole day in the house, you will not benefit the sun.
Yeah, it's like money is amplify who you really are. Means if you are a great person, money amplify this, or you are a good person, money are a good tool to amplify your action. If you,
sure,
you deliver a very good value to others also. But for example, in your life, how you like to deliver value to others is connected with your activity.
Oh no, because I don't like my job. Actually, I never saw that job. Actually, I'm very blessed because I never had to work in my life, because work is actually something what you do, what you not like, but you have to do to make a living. And actually, from very early in my life, I did what I wanted to do. I never worked for a boss. I hate the word boss. And I never worked for somebody. I always work for myself. I like to work. I don't want to employ people. I want to inspire people and let them do themselves. So about what you said, in the beginning, I made a mistake to try to change the people. But I had to find out then nobody of us like you and me thinking, we can only talk to the people. We can serve them the soup and we can give them the spoon. But they have to eat themselves. We cannot feed them, because if we feed them and we try to change, they not change. They only change for a single moment. It's like when you take a sponge and you squeeze it and you let go, the energy will go back and it will get the same structure. So we cannot change anybody, but we can tell them, we can give them the tools to open the mind and to look different to the subject what it is, you know. And I notice with a lot of people who are struggling life, it's more like if they're on a roundabout and don't know to take which action they have to take. And I tell them, just take one. It doesn't matter if it's the wrong one, because if it's the wrong one, at least you are making progress. You go forward.
Yes,
circling, you go nowhere. And where you want to go, you only complain about yourself, and every single time you make the circle complete, you complain about yourself again, then you don't go forward and you stick to the same place. Yeah, logical. If you taking circles, nothing will happen. Yeah. Take the wrong exit, but you only know it's the wrong exit when you took the wrong exit, and halfway driving you find out this is not leading where you want to go. You return, you make a left or a right, and you will go to your destiny, you know. So never stop believing. That's the most important thing. Never give up. So because
in your life, let me ask you these things. In your life, which kind of situation, the more strange situation that happened in your life? That's a very interesting story that you want to tell to the people that follow us.
What's strange? I mean, actually, I nothing see as strange. Everything I see as a challenge. But I think I'm the only one among the listeners or watching now or later on who spent time in prison because of my job and because of never giving up. I don't like governments if they treat the people wrong. I tell many times when I had things, governments actually should be like an umbrella. And there was an insurance company in Holland who had a logo, which was a man and a woman. You saw them from the back, armed, and they had an umbrella in the hand, and the umbrella was covering them, and they had a little child and a dog. And actually that is the logo of a government. They should cover you. You should be able to hold to them and stick to them. But when governments find out, then they are like in fact an incorporation and they can make a lot of money. They turn around 180 degrees the umbrella, and then it became a fishing net, and they squeezing all out of you, your energy, your money, And what they try to do now with this Agenda 2030, this dirty mind to make everybody a slave of the new system, they will not succeed, but it's a plan. So, I forgot the last part, because if you talk too much, sometimes you forget what
I like that way you start one direction is amazing. Now about
yeah.
one let's say strange story that happened that you told us that is not no one story is strange, but something happened that
No, you know what I said. I mean, I started about this part with the. Oh yeah, that's what I want to say about. I came. Not that many people would have served time in prison. I've saved time in prison because one time of my job in Germany, because I'm loyal to my clients, so they took me for 6 months and then they had to let me go. And I had a fight always in Holland because they really hate me for who I am. I hate Holland, and they know that, because Holland is seen through the eyes of many people, especially here in Hungary. They ask me how the hell you can come to Hungary, to Budapest. It's a poor country, you have nothing here. Poor is only then when you value everything in a dollar sign or a euro sign or the Japanese yen or whatever. Value and quality is inside yourself. Exactly. And in the country. If you focus only on the money, everything will be worthwhile, because always there will be somebody with more money. But that's not what I want to reach. Money doesn't care to me. I always said we're dealing right now with the coronavirus. There is only one virus in this world which costs millions of that, and that's the green virus, the dollar, the money. Because we are fighting for the money, we make restrictions for the money. So there is only one virus. This coronavirus is like a coughing against the green virus. So with this challenge, when I was in prison, I learned then I was never alone, because I felt always angels with me, or God. I never felt alone. I like to be alone, because I feel like you can be alone but not lonely. Because I felt, when I start talking about in the beginning of the conversation, I felt the energy, which I was sure it was my grandfather. Knowing he's logging in, let's say since about when I started writing when I was 40, I will be 60 in a month. So 20 years I'm doing this writing with angels, and I mostly do it for other people. And the accuracy of what is the outcome is something like 99%. And the one missing percent is because we interpreted it wrong. And because what they write is always right. And the first thing what happened, actually, through all the things what happened, would be strange things for other people, I find that actually nothing is strange. It's what I said in the beginning. I was lucky by the time this all stupid things happened. I knew how actually the system works, you know. And if you want to understand life, this is also what I tell people. If you want to understand life, how this is going on, you have to understand how the game is going, you know. What are the rules of this life we are in? Who are the real leaders? That's not the one, that's not Orban, that's not Joe Biden, it wasn't Trump, although he was, in my way, going on in the good way. He will be back, but that's another thing. It's not Merkel, it's the incorporations behind it. They are making the agenda. And so coming back to this part where it was with the prison, where I understand a lot and open up my eyes, then governments are dirty. What I said, a lot of people here say how you can end up in Budapest. It's so poor here. It's a beautiful city. It's a culture. It is the center of Europe. This is like Switzerland, independent political wise. And here is beautiful. Holland, nobody will understand. Holland is a crazy country. It's China in a worse way on the North Sea. There is no country in the Western world where so many phone calls are taped without a reason, where they use face recognition on the highway, which is forbidden, where from this year on in buildings they will start voice recognition. There is no freedom. People, I had a lot of bad comments on the 5th of May, they celebrate in Holland the end of the Second World War. And I always pose the same question since 5 years. People, which freedom are you celebrating? You don't have freedom. You believe in freedom. Like when I talk to people, they talk about democracy. We don't have democracy. Democracy is existing in Disneyland, and we don't live in Disneyland. We can go to Disneyland to step out of the world and be there and just enjoy the imagination how the real world will be. But the world we are in is far from a democracy. You know, you can say everything, but what you and I say, governments will not do. Voting will not change anything. You will see what happened. Basically, here a lot of people who don't like Orban told he's not spending any money in the hospitals, and if you tell them, but before he was president, it was the socialists running the country. They create good hospitals. So
yes,
actually,
it means that because we don't have control of everything, we need to be more, let's say, focused in control of what we can control. And first of all is our thoughts. We need to have control of our thoughts, because through these we can have the right interpretation, the decoding of our life, and in this way, you know, we can use every situation in the way to live a good life, no, a good in a good environment that first need to be inside us. The good environment, it need to be inside us.
That's true.
And to transmit the other also this. Okay, I don't want to steal too much time from you, but really, it's always with you is a very, what I can say, fireworks conversation. I like to talk with you because you are amazing with your, of course, with also with your experience and stories of your life. And thank you so much. Let's maybe repeat again in other topics on this conversation. And,
sure.
And I hope that also our friends, followers can enjoy also these few moments, few words from our point of view. Okay.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm here 20. You can reach me 24/7, so I'm always available.
Thank you so much.
It was nice talking to you. Take care. Ciao, ciao.
See you soon.
See you soon. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.